Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. I'm Vanessa Bertinotti, and you are listening to Salute e Biohacking, a podcast where we explore how to elevate our health, expand our potential, and transform our life through science, energy, and conscious practice that truly makes a difference. As always, remember this podcast is for informational purpose only and does not replace medical or therapeutic consultation. If this episode resonates with you, please help us spread the word, share it with someone who needs it, subscribe on your favorite platform, and leave a review. Every share helps us reach more people seeking for transformation. I'm also excited to remind that my book, Biohacking Guide, A Journey Through Science, Nature, and Consciousness, is now available worldwide on Amazon in English, French, Italian, Portuguese, and Spanish. Today, I'm truly honored and excited to welcome Dr. Ajay Tejasvi. Dr. Tejasvi is a global leadership strategist, researcher, and teacher of meditation and breathwork. He served as the president of TLEX, Art of Living corporate training program, blending over 2 decades of leadership expertise with deep spiritual insight to guide organization and individual toward conscious resilience and purpose. As nephew of Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar, he integrates spiritual depth with practice tools for meaningful leadership and inner transformation. Ajay, thank you so much for joining us today. It's a true privilege to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Vanessa. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you. So many people sense a special connection between you and Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar. Could you share how your relationship as his nephew has shaped your life, vocation, and approach to service?
Thank you for that, Vanessa. It truly has been an honor of my life, actually. Gurudev's presence in my life ever since I was very young, for as long as I can remember in this life, has truly meant such a source of inspiration for me. Even as a child, we would see him, and it was very natural for me to see a being who is so alive, who is so present, and who is so caring, so deeply caring of everything and everybody around. That really left a very deep impression on us. Even as children, Gurudev would share that the whole world is our family. And so we grew up with that feeling, that sense, and that belief that, we are all indeed one human family. And I see that has influenced my own approach, professionally and personally, throughout my life. To a point where I really feel very connected with people all around me, and as a consequence, I also feel very comfortable. You feel very comfortable when you're among people you love,
Yes.
and you feel like they're your own, right? You feel belonging, and so you can be your natural self. And this is such a simple yet profound philosophy or thought process. When you feel when you feel comfortable is when you can be natural. That is when your stress levels are also low, right? This is why people want to be with family, because they can be themselves, right?
Yes.
And they can be relaxed. But when you feel the whole world is your family, you feel relaxed and natural. And that's when you're relaxed and natural, you can be at your best. And this has been my experience as well. So it's been an incredible privilege, Vanessa. But it's also something that's very natural. It didn't feel like something unnatural or something we had to like make an effort to. Gurudev's way is very, very practical, very, very realistic to today's needs in the world, and also very natural. So that this is why it has resonated with so many people
That's
around the world, no? More than 180 countries now.
yeah.
So, yeah, does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. And you currently serve as the president of TLEX, Art of Living corporate training program. How does this role inform your understanding of leadership, and how do you integrate spiritual wisdom into corporate culture through TLEX?
Thank you. Thank you for that question, Vanessa. Uh, See, Transformational Leadership for Excellence is a program that Gurudev inspired us to develop, uh, specifically focused on the corporate leadership sector. And the idea was we spend most of our waking hours with our colleagues, right? Um, from the morning we wake up, we have
Yeah,
breakfast, say goodbye to our loved ones, and go to work. And we are there pretty much all day. And then even when we come back home, there's something still happening with work, right?
yeah,
So we don't live life in compartments, is it? We'd like to think so. This is my work life, this is my family life, but it all intermingles. And this is the same aspect of our spirit also. People often think spirituality is something that I do in the morning and in the evening. I sit down and meditate, or I pray, and that is my spirituality. But in reality, the spirit is who we are. Without the spirit, this would just be a body of, different elements, isn't it?
yeah.
So the spirit is what truly um, brings us alive, or gives us this life as well. And so infusing that, understanding that this is who we truly are, and understanding the interdependent nature of everything that we do is very important for us across life. And so we said, since we spend most of our time at our workplace, how do we bring some of these simple principles of helping individuals manage their minds better? um, how do you help them manage their emotions and thoughts better? Because very often when we are in a meeting, you have to pay attention, but the mind is doing its own thing.
Yeah,
Even right now we're having this conversation, the mind might be doing its own thing.
yeah,
Hopefully it's not, gone for a cappuccino break, but it's right here with us. So the idea is, how do you get the mind to be in the moment? Because the mind in the moment can help generate solutions. And so here's where we applied the principles that were taught by Gurudev in the Art of Living Foundation, which is learning how to manage your own mind, learning how to manage your emotions and thoughts better, so that you can connect to yourself, really find out who you are, and from that, you can lead from a deeper space of wisdom. So the TLEX program offers very practical tools that are breath-based, that can help manage your mind, help achieve a calmness and clarity of thinking, which is very important for decision making today for everybody. Wouldn't you agree?
yes, absolutely. I think it's maybe the most important thing, actually.
Yeah, yeah, decisions, and this is where, given there's so much happening out here, right? There's so many different factors, so many different stakeholders, so many different um, uh, considerations for our mind. How do you keep the mind focused on the task on hand and yet take all of these inputs into consideration? How do you make it so that the mind is able to take the best decision at that moment? And that can happen when the mind is free of stress.
Yeah,
And very often, the stress is what prevents us from being at our 100%, isn't it?
yeah,
Uh, if you were to look at stress, I think most psychologists define stress as the perception that you will not be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve, rather than your inability to achieve.
yes,
So
correct.
it's how you see the world, actually. And when there's stress, then essentially what you're doing is you're saying, I can't do this, but in reality you can, right? But when you convince yourself that you can't, it makes it very hard for you to move forward. It gets you frozen up, isn't it?
Yeah. So
So
expectation is something that maybe it's difficult to be what we are because the expectations are so high sometimes. Probably.
yes, that, and also your I would say your perception that you will not be able to live up to that expectation
Mm-hmm.
because you think about yourself in a certain way.
Yes.
But what you realize when the mind calms down, when you're able to learn some techniques to calm the mind down, is that you're much more than your thoughts. You're much more than your emotions. There's something much deeper within. You're a source of energy. And when you're able to connect to that, then you feel like you can rise up to any expectation.
Yes. Beautiful said.
S-
Yeah. And can you walk us through the pivotal moment that led you from building rural tech solution to immersing yourself in breath work, meditation, and spiritual practice?
Vanessa, it was quite symbiotic in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
It influenced one another. Um, it was because I would say at a very young age I saw the impact of the breath work, of the meditation techniques that Gurudev had taught, that the Art of Living's work was happening
Mm-hmm.
around wherever I saw in communities. I would see that individuals who were able to manage their stress levels better, who were able to manage their negative emotions better,
Mm-hmm.
were also more aware. They were aware of the interconnections, the interdependencies that all of us have as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we think that we are very independent, right? But see, the reality is the food that we had this afternoon or this morning came from a farmer somewhere else. The clothes that we wear were grown by some farmer and put together by some factory worker somewhere, right? Everything that we have depends on somebody else.
Yeah.
So when you realize this interconnectedness, you also get a sense of belonging. You feel a sense that, hey, this is more than just me and my little family. This whole community belongs to me. And with that comes a sense of commitment, a commitment to serve, a commitment to make the whole area better than how you found it. And this is the fundamental basis of the Art of Living's work, which is strengthening society by strengthening individuals. And so when I saw this, it became very clear to me that, the basis of societal transformation needs to be a strengthened individual.
Mm-hmm.
And somehow, nowhere at school nor at home are we taught how to manage our minds. See, we learn math, we learn chemistry, we learn biology, English, French, German, social science, all these different things, right? But how to manage our negative emotions? How to manage our, anger? How do you manage your sadness? Nobody teaches us. And so, when you learn how to manage your negative emotions better, when you learn how to keep this mind here with us, because it does its own thing, right? It's like constantly oscillating from the past to the future,
Yeah.
isn't it? Either we are like glorifying the past and saying, oh, those were the best days of my life, or we are regretting what happened in the past, or we are worried about the future. And we're like, what's going to happen? So much uncertainty. But what we're doing is we're missing the present. Here's when you can do something about it.
Yeah.
So, when we train our mind, when we train our nervous system to be able to handle these negative emotions, to be able to bring the mind to the present moment, then you're in a better position to take on the challenges that life throws at us. And this is what I learned through my own practice. And this brought me to saying, hey, it's not either or, it is both. We can succeed in the world, and that begins with me. I have to succeed with my own mind first. I should be able to manage my own mind better. And it's a constant practice, Vanessa.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I've learned that,
Mm-hmm.
there's always something that we have, as human beings to constantly improve upon.
Yes.
Um, and I found a lot of changes in myself as I've practiced over the last 3 decades.
Mm-hmm.
My own approach to life, my own interactions with individuals have improved. My relationships have improved because I'm not that prone to, let's say, anger. Or even if I get angry, I can snap out of it quickly. So
Mm-hmm.
some of these things have a very practical implication on our life. So I would say this dichotomy in our mind, right, that spirituality and regular life are just a conceptual dichotomy. In
Yeah.
reality, it is we are one, right? We are one integral whole. And if when we approach life like that, then you're much better off. You're in a much better position to be successful.
Mhm. Yeah, it's like seeing a human being not like different pieces, but one whole thing. So
Exactly.
and connected to the world and to the universe. So
Exactly.
it makes
Exactly.
sense. And you often say that breathe transform leadership and stillness become a strength. How does conscious breathing influence this decision making, emotional resilience, and present in high pressure environment? You already explained the fundamentals of your thoughts, but maybe if you want to go more in depth on this.
Yes, yes, happy to. Uh, See, there is a great secret in our breath that we have not yet explored. Every day we breathe more than 20,000 liters of air. Are you aware of this? Like
No,
that's one
yeah,
swimming pool size of air that you breathe, right? What is the first act that we do when we were born?
we breathe as
You
well.
breathe in, right? And then you start crying. And what is the last act of life that we do?
The same is breathing
You
out.
breathe out, and then if you've lived a good life, then people around you cry,
Yeah,
right? In this entire lifetime, 80, 90, 100 years, now people are even living up to 120 years, right? With biohacking and all of
yeah,
that. Um, what is it that is our constant companion? The breath, isn't it? And the breath is always in the present moment. It's not, you can't say, I'm breathing for tomorrow. Or you can't say, I breathed yesterday, I don't have to breathe today. Right? Constantly, the breath is with us. But when is it that we pay attention to the breath? It's only when we're short of breath, isn't it?
yes,
Right? When you're running and you stop or you've just climbed up stairs. I know you're in beautiful Switzerland, so there are lots of mountains, lots of hills. So you climb up a hill and then you right? Generally, you breathe, you pay attention to the breath when you're short of breath.
yes.
Now, what Gurudev has shared, as the pioneer of breathwork, more than 45, 46 years ago, that when we use the breath in certain ways, we can have a positive impact on our mind. If you observe, certain emotions have an impact on your physiology through the breath. When you're happy, your breath is a certain way. Like you're smelling a beautiful rose, pleasant state of mind, right? When you're angry, how is the state of your breath?
Short.
Shorter, right? Shorter breaths,
Yeah.
a little bit more. And when you're sad, right? Focuses on the out breath as well. So, in the same way that the mind has an impact on your body through the emotions, right? Through the mind and the emotions have an impact on your body through the breath. Your breath can have a positive impact on the state of your mind. When you breathe a certain way, you can have a positive impact on the state of your mind. So, this is the basis of the Art of Living Sky Breath meditation, the Sudarshan Kriya Yoga, which is a rhythmic breathing technique that you learn in these programs that we offer. So, what you do is over a period of 6 hours across 3 days, 2 hours a day, uh, you learn certain ways of breathing. And these breathing techniques then help you have that, a practice that can culture your nervous system, that can help you have a positive impact on the state of your mind. And this is what we offer in the programs. So when you breathe in certain ways, when you modulate your breath, then you can truly manage your mind better. And this is what research has shown, over 100 independent studies on
Yes.
just this technique alone, and over 247 independent studies on all these related practices, the breath, meditation, yogic practices of the art of living, over the last 45 plus years have shown very, very positive psychological, physiological, and sociological effects. Because when you feel good internally, it also translates into your body. As you know, recently also we've had research that talks about how meditation can help you boost your immunity. It can help you reduce the levels of inflammation within your body,
Yeah.
and also increases the brain plasticity,
Yeah. And
right?
alkaline the body as well.
Exactly. And so it helps you with longevity as well. Now, when you're physiologically you feel better, mentally you're feeling better, then you also can connect to one another as human beings.
Yes.
Because when you're so stressed out, the concerns of the person next to you are the last thing on your mind. And this is what is happening in our society today.
Yes.
We don't even go ask somebody how are you feeling truly, or even if we ask, we don't even wait for the response,
Yeah.
because we have our own worries in our mind.
Yeah.
There's so much noise in our head.
Hmm.
So all these breathing techniques help us get rid of the clutter,
Yeah.
so you can connect to yourself and connect to the other in a more meaningful human way. And when you're able to do that, then you lay the basis for a happier society. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. 100%. I think. Yeah. And from your experience, bringing spiritual tradition and corporate realities, how does the sky breath meditation help modern professionals release stress and cultivate well-being? So, do you think it's really something that should?
Absolutely. See, it's a 20-minute practice. As I was sharing, you learn this over a period of 3 sessions, 2 hours each,
Yeah.
and then you have this practice every day, 20-25 minutes. You do this in the morning, or in the evening after you come back from work, once a day typically.
Okay.
And this helps you reset the rhythms of your emotions and thoughts. What it does is it helps you harmonize the rhythms of your body along with your emotions and thoughts. And so you're more in touch with yourself. When you're in touch with yourself, you're taking in the world better. You're able to perceive what is happening, so your perception improves, your observation improves, how you reflect on what you've taken in from the outside. You are able to analyze it better, and then you're also able to respond better. Your expression improves, communication improves. So these three fundamental things that are very important for professionals: perception, observation, and expression, all of which are critical for important, like for communication, for connectivity, for being able to build trust. These three things are essential: perception, observation, and expression. Now, when the veil of stress is clouding your perception, then you're not taking the world in the way it is. You're looking at it from a biased perspective, from an unclear perspective. Now, when your raw data is wrong, then even your observation, your analysis of that is incorrect. As a result, the way you express yourself is also, it's not optimal. And when it's not optimal, how can you have the desired result?
Yeah.
And that leads to more stress. So it's a vicious cycle of stress that brings you down. Now, when you're able to get rid of the stress and you're able to take the world in as it is, and you're able to reflect with your mind in the present without all this clutter in the mind, then you can express yourself clearly. And leaders, one of the most important skills is the ability to connect, the ability to have people's attention, right? It's
Yeah.
the currency of leadership. Attention is the currency of leadership. So when you're able to connect with your I would say stakeholders, with your community members, with your team members, and you're able to communicate clearly and very simply what it is that you want done or what you would like to do, then you can build that trust with one another when you're able to listen to them clearly. And this is the basis of strong leadership. Without this, you're just like ordering people around, and it doesn't, in today's world, it doesn't work like that anymore, given all the complexity that we have. So the first step is in being able to manage your own mind better. And when you're able to do that, when the mind is your friend, then you can make friends with the whole world. When the mind is not your friend, then everybody looks like an adversary to you.
Absolutely. And following the principle of modeling values instead of preaching them, could
Yes.
you share a personal example where embodying a value created more impact than verbal advice ever could?
You know, Gurudev often says we convey more through our presence than through our words. And this has been true for me in many, many places. Almost 20 years ago, when I was still, I was just in the middle of helping put this leadership program together at the World Bank. I was in Africa, and at that time, people were very skeptical of this approach, right? There's so many different religions and other spiritual practices. How do you intend to bring this as part of the leadership program? And my approach there was scientific. I shared the scientific impact of the breath, the meditation, and I shared, the breath has no religion. Yes, it has, these techniques have a background in the yogic, in the Vedic traditions, but we are here to share the benefits. It's not as if we are going and asking somebody to subscribe to a particular religious philosophy. So there's still some concern among colleagues as well. But I said, look, let's give it our best shot. We do this in a very ecumenical way, and we see what the result is, and staying with that conviction, knowing that what we are doing has benefited us and it will benefit others also, coming from that space of clarity and I would say sincerity, made a big difference. Um, people and people shared that. They said we were skeptical of this, but when we allowed ourselves, when we understood, and when we allowed ourselves to just experience it, then we were able to feel that stillness, that calmness within. So it's a little bit of, we are beings of head and heart.
Yeah.
So I would say very often we only nurture the head. We don't nurture the heart at all. And or we are only nurturing the heart and we don't even go to the head. What I have found is that having a balance of both head and heart is really the art of living. It's helping individuals become um, more comfortable with learning new ideas, new things, so that they can find new ways of being, of changing how they approach their lives as well. And that starts with modeling. People don't, uh, I think when people see you practice the values that you espouse, then they naturally subscribe to it. And what are these values, Vanessa? It's not something like rocket science. Uh, Basic human values. Treat others as you would want to be treated,
Yeah.
right? You would want to be treated with friendliness, with love, with compassion, isn't it? Right? Treat others the same way.
Yeah.
And that has been, so it's a very simple way. It's not so intellectual, I would say. It is simply a way of being, and living with those ideals, which are very practical.
Should be common sense, no?
Yes, it is common sense.
Yeah. And but
Children already have this, Vanessa.
sorry,
As
sorry.
children, we all have this. We
Yeah.
don't wait for an invitation to go play on the playground, right? Why do we need that when we grow up? We can still go say hello. We can make a new friend every day. And I think a vision like this can help the world deal with the challenges that we're dealing with right now,
Yeah.
right? For me, spirituality is not escapism. For me, spirituality is the giving you the strength and the resilience to be able to take on life's challenges with a smile, to be able to handle the difficult questions in life, to be able to come up with solutions for challenges, um, and have that faith, have that confidence in yourself. Um, Gurudev often says, uh, in developing that faith, that trust is very important. And he talks about three kinds of trust. He
Hmm.
says, trust in yourself, right? That self confidence that I can do this, I have that. Trust in the goodness of people around you,
Yeah.
right? That people around you will have good, they people have more goodness than the negative qualities, right? We are all made of atoms, and atoms at the core are positive, and the negative electrons are simply at the periphery, right? This we forget. And the third is faith or trust in the unknown. In there's something that we can, it's a faith, I would say, is a leap into the unknown. This is what scientists do, right? You know something, and then you experiment something into the unknown, and this has been the journey of humanity. So having trust in these three sort of things, the trust in yourself, trust in the goodness of others, and trust in the unknown, that there's something out there. We have been a journeying race, of humanity. So these three things are very important in our time today, where the whole world seems to be in such a logjam. There's so
Hmm.
much conflict everywhere, and here's where spirituality gives us the strength, that self confidence. Yes, I can.
Hmm.
Uh, and it also gives you the resilience. You spoke about resilience, right?
Yeah.
So I would say three factors: trust, resilience, and the ability to be innovative.
Hmm.
So we spoke about trust. The second is about resilience. It helps us get more resistant or resilient to shocks, both personal and around us, right? It helps you bounce back quicker. It helps you have a larger perspective of life, that positives and negatives coexist in nature. There is winter, there is summer, there is day and night, peaks and valleys, and we are part of nature. So when you understand this, then the mind can bounce out of difficult situations much sooner. And finally, I would say it helps you become more innovative as well. And innovation is so essential in today's world, wouldn't you agree? To be successful, to be able to really rise up to the challenge that we have. So these three factors, I would say, are important.
Yeah, maybe the innovation comes from intuition. We dig into our true intuition when we are calm
Absolutely.
and balanced, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right there. That
Mhm.
is the connection. When you're calm, when you're clear, then you can really unlock the absolute intelligence within us, which is already within us, the innate skills, the innate uh, abilities that can help us unlock or unblock challenges in front of us. So, absolutely, it helps you unlock the intuition within you that can help you be more innovative as well.
Yeah, sometimes I notice that when we want to be very like focus on or structure and like build something really rational, sometimes we get to the point, we get to the goal, but very often it's not the goal that is made for us. But sometimes it's better to let things come from where they have to come, and then we reach them like automatically. So it's a concept difficult to explain, but sometimes I think that when we find ourselves, like the right intuition, then we leave the things comes from I don't know where. So the unknown that it's made there for us. What do you think?
I think it's a very beautiful thought that you just shared, Vanessa. Um, I think we were talking about the faith, right, or the trust in the
Yeah.
unknown. One of the things is this or something better.
Yes.
So, you say, I would like this, but if not this, then something better.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, there is that unknown. See, even if you were to look at it in a very logical, rational way, right? The brain is, what is the brain? The brain is a frequency analyzer, right? You're able to see, you're able to perceive, you're able to hear, taste, touch, and smell, all in certain frequencies. We already know dogs, cats have different frequencies that they can analyze.
Yeah.
Animals like bats, they have different frequencies.
Hmm.
So if you were to look at it very logically, even then your ability to perceive is limited. There are things beyond our perception. There are things that you can only feel sometimes as well, right? Love, you feel. Happiness, you feel, right? So the finer aspects of life, I would say, are not limited by our own intellectual understanding. And here is where the idea that you shared is so beautiful, that there is something beyond what we understand. There is something beyond what we know. What is that? And understanding that that is who I am as well. Do I know myself fully? Am I just these thoughts? Am I just these emotions? Am I just this physical body? There's something more, isn't it?
Hmm.
Right? There's something within me that is seeing all this happening. Something within me that's saying, hey, the trees are changing colors, the people around me are changing, everything is changing, but I'm still the same. There's something within me that says that. And there's something within me that is expanding when I'm happy and contracting when I'm sad. What is that? Knowing what that is the science of spirituality, I would say.
Hmm.
What is this, what is outside, is science. Who am I is spirituality. And they're very complementary, actually, understanding this. And so being open to that, that there's something that I don't know still, and being open to learning more about that, experiencing that, I would say, is the sign of a mature intellect.
Hmm.
Um, and completely agree with you. There is something beyond
Yeah.
that what we can comprehend.
And you talk about frequency. Do you think that everybody has his frequency, and more we work into breathing and knowing us better, make us higher in frequency, so we see also things differently, just because we observe from a different frequency the world in front of us. So maybe sometimes I think that the world in front of us is just a mirror of inside of us. It's difficult. Maybe I see you in a way, in a certain way, but if there are like 10 people here, see you in a different way. Each one of those people see you in a different way, depending on their state of mind, depending on their journey, their background. And
Absolutely.
mhm,
Vanessa, there is this saying in Sanskrit which says, Yatha drishti tatha srishti. As is your vision, so is the world. So is your reality.
mhm,
So it all depends on the state of your mind, like you described, right? If your state of your mind is pleasant, if it is happy, then that rose looks so beautiful. If it is not, then all you can see are the thorns, right?
mhm,
And so beauty truly lies in the eyes of the beholder.
yeah,
And it is, in one sense, like you said, it is a mirror to what you are inside. When
mhm,
you're smiling, then the world smiles back.
yeah,
And when you're unhappy, unfortunately, that's what comes back. So that's where all of these techniques help.
mhm,
It helps you, okay, realize, okay, I'm having these emotions. Who is having these emotions?
yeah,
What are these emotions? Where am I experiencing them? And how do I manage them better? So, the practical tools, because it's very difficult to do this from the level of the mind.
yes,
Going back to your question about the breath, right? Why is the breath important? Because it's not easy to do this from the level of your mind. We've all tried it, right? Don't be upset. Don't be angry, right? Doesn't work,
mhm,
right? It makes you more angry. It makes you more upset. So, how not to? This is where the breath comes in. So, when you use the breath in certain ways, then the mind can calm down.
yeah,
So, the breath is the bridge between the inner and outer worlds.
yeah,
Remembering this and then making it a practice. See, happiness is a practice. It's not just only a state of your being.
Uh-huh.
It's a practice. You cultivate that. You don't say, when I get this, I'll be happy, or that I'll be happy. This is what people do, right, in life. When I get a new job, I'll be happy, or when I get married, I'll be happy. When I have children, I'll be happy. When I get a new house, I'll be happy. You see what we're doing, right? It's like preparing the bed all night,
Yeah.
and then by the time it's ready to sleep, it's too late. It's morning already, right? But
Yeah.
if you flip this around and say, oh, I can be happy while doing all of these things, right? I can be happy and get a new job. I can be happy and find a life partner. I can be happy raising a family. It's in our mind.
Mhm.
It's that flip. So it's a practice of happiness. So I would say um, this is another tip, for our listeners, that don't make happiness dependent on thoughts or events, right? Don't make it dependent on events. Make it a practice.
Mhm.
Gurudev says wisdom is to delink the event from the emotion.
Yeah. And do you
And
think, I'm sorry,
yeah. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
do you think that with the breathing we tackle also the our unconscious? Because I'm doing like hypnosis, so sometimes I compare some state of breathing like the state you can have in hypnosis, because you reach a certain level of frequency that make you connect to your heart and to your inner self, instead of being too rational. So you silence a part of the rational mind. Also,
So,
with
Vanessa, in this, it happens very naturally. When you breathe in a certain way, especially with the sky breath, it harmonizes it. So you're not trying to suppress anything.
yeah,
It naturally gets into a state of calm.
yeah,
And what research has shown is that both alpha and beta activity are heightened. So it's relaxed and at the same time alert. So it's relaxed alertness.
yeah. So it's
It's a
auto
very unique.
regulation, like it's adapt depending
Yes.
if you have like a nervous system that is too active or too inactive.
Relaxes it,
Yeah,
and at the same time also it keeps you alert. Both. When you're alert, there is no relaxation most of the time,
yeah,
or when you relax, there is no alertness,
yeah.
right? This is a flow state, what scientists or what people have referred to as a flow state or a zen state of being, or a peaceful, what I would say, super conscious state, right? Which is relaxed and alert at the same time. So, and this is something that happens quite naturally. There's no effort needed because the mind and the body work on opposite paradigms. This is important to understand. For the body to be most efficient at its peak, effort is needed. Right amount of rest, right amount of food, right amount of exercise, right? But for the mind to be in peak, what is needed is effortlessness is key. There's no effort here. You just need to relax. You need to learn how to relax, how to let the mind be. And here's where the breath is that very important tool for us. The breath allows you to just relax unto itself without an effort, because the more you try with your mind,
Yeah,
it becomes an effort,
yeah.
right? So this naturally takes you to a state. You're not trying to suppress any thought, you're not trying to do anything like that. You're in harmony with whatever thoughts and emotions exist, because when you try to resist a thought, it comes back with equal strength, right? Try not to think of a pink elephant. It's right there, no? Psychologists call this ironic processes. Thought suppression doesn't work. So here is why it is important to regulate the breath, modulate your breath, and you're able to modulate the state of your mind naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
And we live in a culture of instant gratification. Meditation and breath work often require consistency and patience. How can people stay motivated when results don't come immediately? Because
You
sometimes
know,
they
the
happen.
the beauty, Vanessa, is that with breath work you have immediate results.
Mhm,
You know, when you breathe, immediately you feel that energy, you feel that relaxation immediately. So then people realize that. That is why so many people are practicing this around the world.
mhm, mhm,
um, it's very easy. It's not as if that you get it after a long time of practice.
mhm.
So research shows that within 3 days itself, people's the stress level, the stress hormone, cortisol, is half already.
Yeah.
Even just like 3 days you practice, and then over long time, people who have practiced over 6 months, over 1 year, their cortisol levels are half of normal people's cortisol levels.
Mhm.
And after the practice, it goes even lower. See, stress you accumulate every day, right? You go out, you live in this life, and some stress, you conscious, unconscious stress keeps coming up. But this helps you get rid of it. It's like mental hygiene.
Yeah.
Like you brush your teeth every day, right?
Yeah.
Huh? So it's like dental hygiene, like that mental hygiene. More and more people are doing this. So in the past, I would say maybe it was a little challenging for people to realize the benefits of it. But now they really see it because the mind is so hyperactive. And when you meditate, when you do the breath work, you feel such a profound sense of relief. You feel a profound sense of energizing, right? Like get you ready for the next part of your day.
Mhm.
And that alone, I would say, is sufficient for people to come back to it again and again. um,
Mhm.
so this, when you've had that experience from within, you don't need motivation anymore. It
Okay.
becomes a source of inspiration
Mhm.
from within. It's self-inspired, I would say.
Mhm.
Because when you feel good, it becomes natural. Also, what helps is having a friend who does this with you, right? So
Mhm.
you, like a buddy system, you keep each other in check. Hey, have you done your meditation today? And that helps also, right?
Mhm.
Of course, there are apps and all of that that you can also use.
Mhm.
There's a Sattva app that the Art of Living has released. It's a free app for anybody who would like to download. It's called Sattva, Sattva, and it helps you with both the practice of meditation, and also when you've learned the sky breath meditation, it helps you with the daily practice as well.
Okay.
So that is also available for practitioners. But yeah, the proof is in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
And if you like it, you keep coming back to it.
That's true. And if you look back at your younger self, perhaps the AI engineer in California or student in Georgetown, what wisdom would you share with him today?
I would say, that's a great question. Maybe patience, a little bit more. But I think, in one sense, at each stage of life, I think those experiences and emotions that we go through really form who we are, right, today. Um, I would say that investing in yourself, investing, we spend all our lives, we spend money on this or the other, right? But when we're able to invest in ourselves, that I would say is the greatest return. And for me, investing in myself means meditating, means reflecting on the true purpose of our life. And this I would say, time is very precious. So uh, redouble our efforts to making this world a happier place for everybody. So that is what I would say.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And your work emphasizes service as an integral part of inner growth. Why do you believe serving others is essential for true well being and transformation?
See, you can't be happy in an island, right?
Yes.
If everybody in your family, if even if one person is unhappy in your family,
Mhm.
can you truly be happy?
No.
No, right? Like that, when you look at the whole community around you, a few unhappy people can spread that unhappiness everywhere, right?
Yeah, yeah.
The opposite is also true. A few happy people can create waves of happiness all around, right? So, truly, one of the things that I have learned in my life is that for a truly happy society, it needs all of us to come together, help each other, with compassion, with love and friendliness, to create a future for, or even a present for all of us that is better than how we found it, right? So I firmly believe that even if somebody is, see, when there's even one hair is pulling at you, you feel it, right? There's something uncomfortable over there. Like that, I would say is our community, is our fabric of society. Some people who are unhappy can create so much for everybody else, right? So how do we engage with people? How do we help make things better? Then you really you feel even more fulfilled, I tell you. There is such great joy in giving. There's such great joy in sharing. And it is much more, I would say, than the joy of receiving. uh, it's a much more mature joy at that point. So I would encourage everybody to engage in some sort of service in their lives. Then you're not only, so this has multiple purposes. Of course, it helps us create a better world, but also it helps you understand that it's not just about me. You know, you're like, sometimes you just, oh, what about me? What about me? You start worrying, and then you, that's the easiest, it's the formula to get depressed,
Yes.
right? What about me? What about me? But when you pause and see, oh, people around me need so much help. I'm so fortunate where I am. That gives you a sense of gratitude also. And that also gives you the ability to help bring a smile onto somebody else's, another human being's life, another human being's face. And that really gives you that profound satisfaction.
Wow.
So, service is a big part of who we are. Um, you know, in the Art of Living, Gurudev says, Seva is seeing the divine in the person next to you. Sa eva, like the divine is present in the person next to you as well. So it's like, it's a form of serving the divine, and I think this is across religious traditions. Even in the Catholic tradition, you have in the Jesuits who engage in service as well, right? As a form of giving back to the divine. So all across history, there is this rich tradition of service in human society, serving those less fortunate than you are, and that is what I would argue makes us more richer. Our lives feel more fulfilled. Would
Yes.
you agree?
Yes, totally, totally agree. That's why I'm doing this podcast to spread the
Yeah.
word and to spread the
Mm.
like inspiration. And I think that awareness and sharing these insights, then people can connect the dots and yeah, experiment and do their own research or own experimentation. And it's beautiful, like to see that people also that are very distant away, they can just hear this conversation and change and transform themselves. So I think it's magic. It's pure magic.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
if our listeners could take just one practice from this conversation and start it tomorrow, what would you recommend and why?
I would obviously say, learn the sky breath meditation.
Okay.
Go to artofliving.org, find a class near you, learn the sky breath meditation. It is an amazing, versatile tool that will help you manage your own mind. Your mind is your greatest asset. And when you learn to manage your mind better, then your whole life can transform. So that would be the single point of advice that I give to all our listeners, to truly experience the power of the breath and find the transformation in their minds and the way they live their lives.
Beautiful. So thank you very much, Ajay, for all your wisdom and for your availability, and thank for sharing some tips and some your experience in this world, and also for your kindness. And to all our listeners, all the links to Ajay work are in the episode description, so you find also the links. And if you enjoy this conversation, please share it widely. It could be the spark someone close to you to truly needs today. So thank you very much again.
Thank you, Vanessa. What a pleasure. And I
Glad.
hope to meet you in person sometime soon.
Yes, actually, last year I was invited to a Gurudev seminar in Locarno, just 20 minutes from here, from a friend, and said you have to go there. And so, yeah, it happened like this. And
Oh, beautiful. That's wonderful.
so I'm sure that we will see each other very soon. Maybe here.
Thank you. Yes, that would be lovely, Vanessa.
Great.
Thank you.
So see you soon, and thank you
Thank you.
very
Have a
much.
wonderful day. Have a
Thank you.
wonderful
You
day.
too.